going to give up on waiting and do that. And it doesn't seem to have picked up. There we go. It's picked up the game. I cooked. Well, I cooked yesterday. And it was grim. It was Tesco's pork and leek sausages, and the leek was, it almost tasted, it just tasted of like raw leek. It was really grim. I did not enjoy it at all. But they were basically leftovers from yesterday, and I was kind of hungry, so yeah, Alka-Seltzer is taking care of some of it, but the flavour's grim, so, and I can't get rid of it, so that's why I'm drinking coffee. We should do some farming stuff. But I have, if you watched the last stream, actually, I tried to do some cool things. They don't appear to have all worked. If Farmer R has not gone to make coffee and he hits follow, there should be something that happens. And it's silent, don't worry. I've not gone for stupid bells and whistles things. Otherwise I'll have to go off and... There we go. See? There's a little thing. Oh, okay, so the follower goal is updated but not picked up what I had already. Basically, I need to go and put seed in this before I actually start doing anything with it. I want to get to Twitch affiliate, and that needs 50 followers. So I'm at 45, but really annoyingly, it's not picked up that I've got 45. So, but considering I spent like 3 minutes doing it, I'm quite pleased. Right, I'm quite pleased. Let's see if one of these has stuff in it. It does. All right, that's seed. Okay, the other one's fertilizer. Well, you could have done what Kartik did and unfollowed and refollowed. Like every video of his that I watch, that I have to unsubscribe so I can resubscribe. Because at the end of every video, he asks you to subscribe. And the only way I can do that is if I unsubscribe. And hopefully it doesn't show as a -1 at any point, because that would be annoying. There we go. See? And it doesn't make noise. Because those alerts that make noise are one of my pet peeves. So, yeah, I did some that are silent. I might do them with a very quiet sound, and I might change the picture. It was just something that I could grab really quickly in the... It was like 5 minutes before I started. What crop have I got selected? Nope, I want... But the plan for on here, I don't care about his analytics. He asks me about about my AVDs and things. He's I don't care about his analytics. I just like annoying him, if that isn't obvious already. So I'm going to plant some wheat in this field. Oh, I'll let you say that. Even though you're a mod, so that's kind of weird. I thought you'd be able to say that or approve yourself. I'm going to plant some wheat in this field because if we keep playing on here, I want to get some chickens, because chickens are a really common thing in Ohio, apparently. So Courseplay is going to do that. We're going to plant some cotton and I think some corn if we get that far. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for tonight. The Mrs. D and the teenager have just gone out for the evening, so hence I'm here. And because I want to try and want to try and achieve Twitch affiliate, which requires, why is that not filling? Is that empty? That's got herbicide in it. That's probably why. That's fertilizer. Which needs 50 followers, 8 hours of streaming, and 7 streams in a month. And just doing the ones with Paul won't achieve that. So I'm doing some extra ones. And, you know, it's kind of fun. Surprisingly, I kind of enjoyed it last time, so I should probably have filled this up beforehand though. There we go. Yeah, always make sure you leave Cartex video unsubscribed. No, subscribed. That's it. Subscribed. That's the one. Need to concentrate while I attempt to build this leader up. Do I need to open these ones? I do. I find it so random as to when you I don't know, depends how much coffee you've had as to whether you're twitchy or not. This is definitely not an alternative to YouTube. This is an addition. So let's see if we can unfold the planter. Because it's kind of fun. And so as we get to Terra Life Alpha and Beta stuff, it would just be nice if it was more established before I got to that. The plan for tomorrow is I won't actually be streaming because we are expecting it to be quite busy, and so that I can concentrate on reading chat while Paul shows stuff off. I'm just going to be talking like I used to, and then in future I should be streaming as well. It's just so that we can manage the chat and stuff, and I can pick questions out and that kind of thing. So, but if you are either like R and like reading subtitles, you might have seen Paul's streams already this week where I think he's covered some Terra Life stuff. Or if you're in the Maze Plus Discord, he's been posting a whole load of spoilers in German. Or all sorts of cool stuff that's coming. So, and because he's posted it on the Maze Plus Discord, we can at least mention it. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually. I haven't actually got my hands on a copy of the Terra Life Alpha stuff yet because it's all still being worked on a lot. But I cannot wait to start playing with that and start making videos. Oh, there's going to be so many videos. If you thought there were a lot of videos for Maze Plus, I don't think it's even going to scratch the surface of what I will end up having to do for Terra Life. Because there's going to be so many features. Is the sound and stuff okay? Because I didn't do a test beforehand because I was kind of short of time. So I got home, fed me awful food, fed the family, well, fed Mrs. D. I assume the teenager is eating out where they've gone, and fed the dogs, and then came flying upstairs to try and do stuff, like add the little follower goal bar, which I'm really annoyed isn't picking up the numbers. I'm sure when I logged into it earlier it did. Oh well. It'll get there. And if I spam it more on the YouTube channel, then people might just go and click it anyway, because not that far away. I don't know where they all came from, but I have 45 followers. I picked up some in the few streams that I did. I might have had some from when this was, because this Twitch channel is very old. Not as old as me, obviously, but it is quite old. I think maybe like 7 years old, because I did attempt to do streaming in the past on the other game that I played, and they were not brilliant. And I used to stream during the day when I was not working at home, honest. And so not that many people watched, and I didn't have like a YouTube channel with 4,000 subscribers and all that kind of stuff. So there'd be like maybe one person that would watch. So I'm not sure where the followers came from, but I'm not complaining because it's kind of nice to have a head start. It was kind of good with when I restarted doing YouTube and I started doing Farm Sim YouTube. I had 100 subscribers at that point, and I don't know if any of those subscribers actually watch any of my Farm Sim stuff, but I think it kind of helped with getting the videos shown a little bit. And I did the thing that lots of people do that I don't think really matters, which is spamming them across lots of Discords. And I'm not knocking the people that do that, because I used to do it, but I think it makes zero difference. There's a tree there. Although I do, when I have a video that I think is interesting, I will go and spam it across Discords, mainly on the off chance that the Discord owner picks it up and sees it, rather than, because I don't know about you lot, but I never go and say, well, in my own Discord, I look in the Your Videos channel just to see what people are posting, but I never go and look in a Discord for videos to watch. So I'm not sure how effective it is at promoting the channel, but it's a sensible thing to do when you're starting out, and I did it. I went and joined all the Discords, and I used to sit every time a video was released. I would spend however many minutes it was going and copying and pasting the link into all of them, and being really paranoid about making sure that you got the right channel in the person's Discord. I'm looking at the wrong field. Jeez. So that is being planted with wheat. Awesome. Yeah, so it's I think it helped having some subscribers at the start, and again, I don't think it's made a difference with this, because I'd be amazed if any of them. I think I asked in a video once, and I think maybe one person from it was Battle Pirates that I used to play, and I think one person from those days, or maybe from Stormworks, commented that they were still around, which is kind of cool. Didn't really talk in any of those videos, I don't think. Obviously streaming I did, but when I made videos, because I then switched to doing YouTube videos, which did a bit better. But I didn't talk in any of those. It was just, what did I don't remember. I didn't talk in most of them. It was mostly just gameplay with annotation on how to do stuff. Kind of like a lot of the Farm Sim videos that I do. And actually, I kind of drift away from it. That game, it was a Facebook game, which is where I found it. It's now not on Facebook. I play it through the company's website. And I actually started replaying it about a month ago for a bit. And I think I'm already bored of it again. Which is weird, because it was a game that I played for, I think, probably 8 years. And I would easily play, 4+ hours a day, nearly every day on there. It was a game that was very heavily into microtransactions, which I was not a fan of and didn't like spending money on. So I just used to grind time and try and find ways of doing things for free or, you know, very little time, because the microtransactions were to buy time effectively. So, but yeah, I went back and played it a bit this month. I tend to do that with games. I don't know if you guys are the same. I have like I never played Clash of Clans, so I don't know. It's the Battle Pirate is it's massively multiplayer massively multiplayer online real time strategy. The bit that hooked me into it is you have to build your ships that you use for playing the game. So there's a big element of design and stuff and working out designs and and there's player versus player and there's player versus environment stuff, and I hated player versus player, but I loved the player versus environment stuff and working out how to do those really efficiently. And I was part of a group. I was the leader of the group for quite a while, which included some people that were like me and were really into working out maths and stuff. And so yeah, we got deep into the maths of some of the stuff and working out how things worked, and it was a lot of fun. I made a lot of friends from it. A bit like Farm Sim is turning into. It was a big element of it was, you know, chatting in game with people in text chat, which was cool, which worked for me because, you know, I could sit and play like I play most of my Farm Sim. Yeah, the problem with it, there are two problems. One was because it was a game that relied to do well. You could spend a lot of money, and it was rife with cheating, and people using kind of money packs or whatever to speed things up, which made it quite hard to compete because I didn't do that. I'm pretty sure there were people that were in our group that were cheating. And so that was a bit of a problem. That I found quite frustrating to deal with. And the company that owned the game eventually moved a lot of the game code to their own servers rather than it running locally, and that stopped a lot of the cheating, and that killed a lot of the game base off because it was clear that a lot of players were cheating, and that meant there was a lot less activity. And as people kind of drifted away, it got less interesting because for me, you know, kind of like hanging out on Discord and chatting, sitting in the game and chatting to friends was kind of fun. Whilst playing a game that was kind of quite good for switching off. Generally, it was quite, you know, kind of quite repetitive, but I enjoyed it. And as that community drifted away and kind of the friends that I had from it drifted away, that made it less interesting. I think that's probably why I've never really got hooked on it again. Is most of the friends that I had from that game that I sort of, it's one of those games, you know. So I played, like I said, I played it. Definitely got the they did a like a commemorative thing for people that had been playing for 10 years, which I got. And so, you know, I there were a group of people that I kind of we all started playing it about the same time. It was a game that had multiple worlds, and when people, you know, as a group of players started, they tended to get dropped into the same world. So I kind of grew up in the game with a bunch of people that was friends with, and as they drifted away, it became less appealing, I guess. And then things got a bit boring and repetitive, and yeah. So that was the thing. There was a guy I used. It was the first time I discovered Twitch, and there was a guy I used to watch on Twitch who played the game. he was a bit of a celebrity in the community. There were podcasts and stuff for this game. There was a huge podcast called Battle Vortex that used to get a big audience every week and lots of views. And one of the guys who was on one of the iterations of that podcast, it was a podcast, but it was on YouTube. He streamed, and I used to enjoy watching his streams. And I sort of watched him and thought I could kind of do that, probably. Apart from the fact that I had an awful computer, a £3 microphone, and yeah. So all of the people that used to think that my farm sim videos sounded bad, I don't think any of them are online anymore. But my early Battle Pirates videos sounded even worse than my early farm sim videos. Yes, that is possible, in case you're wondering. And so streaming didn't work for me. I didn't have a community like we have now. I love the community that's built up around the YouTube channel, and I didn't have that. So it wasn't like I could start streaming and have somewhere to share links that I was comfortable sharing links. And hey, Marnox, how you doing? Make sure you hit the follow button if you're not already. Yeah, I didn't have somewhere that I was comfortable sharing links. The community was very toxic. Didn't you get a little picture pop up? It's cool. The community was very toxic on places like Facebook, and so I didn't particularly share the stuff that I did on Facebook. So I didn't have any way of growing a community, so it all kind of died. The videos sort of worked because there was a big YouTube community of people that used to make those kind of videos, and so people would search for them. But it was before the days when you needed 1,000 subscribers, and so there were a lot of YouTube channels that had really big audiences, but no one subscribed for some reason. And I didn't have huge audience, but I had videos that probably get more views. There were less videos, but they would get consistently more views than my farm sim videos get. But I'd do like 3 a month or something around events and things. So my channel now does much better, obviously, but that was kind of where it started. And then the game I lost interest in the game, really, and in making videos. And then I did Stormworks. I didn't ever stream Stormworks. Stormworks is a game that you play for hours and hours and hours. And but I did make videos on it, and they did equally as well as some of my early farm sim videos. And then I did farm sim, and that grew. And for all of my saying about not sharing videos on Discord, I suspect some of its growth came from sharing videos on other people's Discords. So, shouldn't grumble too much. It was that, and some of the tutorials that I did, I think, got me a lot more traction as well. And they certainly do better long term than like Let's Play videos. It's I don't know how it works with big channels, but like one of my Let's Play videos, by the time it's kind of done, in a few months' time, might have 400 views, I guess. Most a little less than that. Whereas, the tutorials will quite easily hit, a few thousand views because they have longevity. Let's slow down cruise control a bit. I think probably one of some of the better examples of that are things like the ones I did with the videos I did on stuff with farm sim, with the animals and farm sim early on. They still get loads of views, and that's kind of cool. And the wheat is nearly planted, which is also kind of cool. Yeah, so what I'm thinking with this series is I'm going to stream it for a bit and see how streaming goes. And so we're doing cotton in here because cotton made a ton of money when I did it on the little field. come back to your comment in a minute, Bill. I just finished talking about my plan for on here. So doing wheat in the far field because I want to get some chickens, I think, because Ohio has lots of chickens. And I don't want to do like cows or whatever because they're a lot of work. We're doing cotton in here because the little field made a ton of money and I want to make more money. And then we're going to do corn, I think, on the even bigger field to put through the production to make more corn made ethanol. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan on here. And I'm going to do at least one cycle of streaming, and then because it's not really the kind of content that I do, I might shift it to something else. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Going back to your comment, Bill, about picking up a Let's Play partway through, I totally agree. If YouTube randomly throws me a Let's Play video series from someone that I'm not, so that's new or whatever, and I see it's on episode, like 30, I probably won't pick it up. Probably, because I want to see the whole progression. So I'd want to go back and watch episodes 1 to 29 first. Because that's what I love about series, is watching the progression. The thing that is an outlier to that, and I think I spoke about that when I was streaming on Sunday, is if you do a video in the middle of a Let's Play that's like, let's build a new farmyard, loads of people watch those, and that might get people hooked. That kind of thing will pull people in, or I see a big variation based on the thumbnail. Pretty big, and I don't know whether that's just people that are subscribed that see the thumbnail and think maybe I'll go watch that, or if it's pulling new people in. I have no idea. I could probably dive into the analytics a bit and compare it to different videos, but I tend not to dive. Weirdly, for someone who's obsessed with data in a lot of things, I try not to obsess about my YouTube analytics because you can really fall into a hole with those, and I don't think it's going to, for a gaming YouTube channel, I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference unless you're going to be hopping around what games you do, to some extent. It's not the kind of thing that you're suddenly going to hit the magic niche of YouTube-ness. So yeah, Monarchs, I do think some people are probably too lazy to go back and watch. If you think that if you pick up one of my series on, like currently most of them are on episode 40 or 50, that's 20 hours of YouTube you've got to go and watch to catch up. Now, everyone should go and do that, but not many will probably. And I loathe clickbait videos. It's so so you farmer are saying about clickbait. It's why I stopped watching Tom Pemberton for a while, because I was fed up of him having clickbait video titles. He's got he's got well over 500,000 subscribers. You don't need clickbait at that point, in my opinion. But and yeah, I occasionally do use clickbait, and Kartek and I have chatted about it a lot. The thing with that is, the important thing generally is making sure that you at least have that in the video. My worst example of that recently, which isn't in the video, is the video I did with that crazy case tractor, and the thumbnail being it picking up a sugar beet harvester. Because I was definitely going for clickbait there, because the caveat on that one is I wasn't expecting the clickbait thumbnail to affect any of my regular viewers. I was hoping to pull in random people to just watch it. Didn't really work. So yeah, it didn't really work, but it was a really fun video to make. I am definitely hoping that the multiplayer aspect of Maypole is going to bring more people in. I probably need to try and pull that out more in the thumbnails, to make it more obvious, because, and to be honest, I'm only showing a little bit of the multiplayer stuff because otherwise the videos are going to end up creeping to like an hour long. And I think that an hour-long video is quite off-putting for a lot of people. So I try and hit about half an hour. The case did lift it, but it had a 37.5 ton weight on the back, not a 7.5 ton weight. I might have edited the XML a little bit, just a little bit, so that it could lift it. I don't think there's a limit to what a hydraulic ram in FS can lift. I think it's just physics of, very, very limited physics of, does it balance? Beyond that, I'm pretty sure that a front loader in FS could lift any weight if you put a heavy enough weight on the other end. And I had hoped that the 7.5 ton weight was heavy enough to lift that beet harvester. It wasn't. So one field planted, didn't take very long. Is the joy of having a monstrous planter. I did look at some monstrous seeders as well, but then decided I probably didn't need that because it was going in a relatively small field. Okay. Switch over to some corn. And hopefully this will go as quick. I probably... yeah. Yeah, it's more about the balance. And that was the problem with Kramer, that when I was trying to pick up pallets of soybeans, they were really heavy. And it wasn't that the ram couldn't lift it, though. It was just the balance point was off. And so you just put a big weight on the back and it can pick it up. Those pallets of soybeans, what installed on here, are incredibly heavy. I don't. Because they've got 5,000 litres of soybeans in them, I think those pallets weigh about 5.5 tons. Which is an awful, awful lot of weight. We're going to do a little bit of multitasking, and we'll get Causeplay to do some rolling for us. The not so chavvy version of the chav tractor that I have on Green Place. It's missing its fangs and scales and stuff. I think the pallet forks was maybe just an issue with the actual pallet being a bit glitchy. Those pallets are a bit twitchy, I found. So like the pallet forks that I had for doing that silly video did not have a problem at all picking up the beet harvester. It was purely balance. So if we do skip rows, probably going to end up doing the no, we want to do that again. We want headland first. I'm probably going to end up rolling the field that we are about to seed after the video. Because otherwise I'm not going to make progress on here. So that's kind of why I'm doing stuff between streams as well. There are 8 people watching. That's kind of cool. I suspect when we start streaming Terra Life stuff, there might be more than 8. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. It's not just that I'm providing quality entertainment, it's just that there's now on telly. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You not got Netflix or something you could watch? I've heard YouTube's quite good. I've heard YouTube's quite good for stuff to watch. Maybe you could try that. Yeah, YouTube has stuff. I also expect all of you to watch this when it's on YouTube, you know? Because it will appear on YouTube. Not sure when. Because what I didn't do on the last one is, until after I realised, is edit out the 5 minutes or whatever wait bit at the start between me going live and I would say me starting to talk, but that didn't quite work today because professional. But yeah, so I'll edit that out. I might leave it for later in the week. You could definitely watch Daggerwin. You could probably learn a lot about farm sim from watching Daggerwin. He's yeah, he's good. He was the first. This is one I've spoken about in videos a lot. He was the first person that I started watching that got me. No, second person that I started watching that got me intrigued about playing farm sim. Let's Play on Attingham, is that's VF? December Farms, he's pretty good. He's got a Let's Play on Attingham, I think. Definitely go check out December Farms. He does good videos. Yeah, the first person that got me interested in farm sim, I have spoken about before. Oh, it had to happen eventually, didn't it? At some point, I should implement a crash counter for doing streams. Might have to see how to do that. Yeah, go in that case, as he's very close to 500 subs, go and subscribe to December Farms. His videos are really good. I don't watch enough of them, but he's really good. So I think if you enjoy, as long as you leave this playing, you can leave and go and have a look. That's fine. +2. I think if you enjoy mine and Kartek's videos, you'll probably enjoy December's videos. Because he's quite chilled out as well. He's yeah, makes good videos. But yeah, there's going to be another +1 then. These trees. The guy that very first got me in, I know I have spoken about this in a video recently, was a guy called Sim UK, who I think still makes YouTube videos. I think. I haven't seen any of his stuff in a very long time, and I've got a feeling he might have even been playing FS17. And he did like 1 or 2 videos on it, really badly, to be honest. But it meant YouTube served me up a bit of Daggerwin, and his early FS19 stuff I thought was really good. Much better than his stuff now. I genuinely haven't watched a Daggerwin video in months now. I used to really enjoy one of the other creators that inspired me to think that I could make farm sim videos was Chainsaw, who I think I found when Daggerwin started doing multiplayer with him, but maybe before that, and his time-lapse videos, because obviously my first videos were time-lapse videos. But the problem is, and it's one of the reasons that my videos have morphed, I find it really hard to watch time-lapse videos, because I tend to listen to YouTube a lot more than I fully watch YouTube, like a lot of people do probably. And so having to pay attention and read what's going on, I kind of don't do, but I really, really liked the way that he played. I just find it really hard to watch his videos. But I think one of the things that I like about Chainsaw stuff is he makes really long series, and his saves develop. You should go plug your phone in then so it doesn't die. That would be bad. Assuming that you're watching on your phone, you should definitely charge it up. I assume my phone is not going to die. My phone is on silent at the moment, so... Yeah, 45 minutes. Cool. I'm hoping that I can get this done by about 8 p.m. What you should do is get a hand charger and get your kids to power your phone. We were joking at work last week. I think it was last week. Might have been the week before. About getting one of those. I don't know if any. So I watch a lot of camping YouTube videos, and the odd kind of van life one. A lot of those have these sort of battery packs that have an inverter in them. Hey Connor, how you doing? Good to see you. They have these battery packs that have got the 240 volt inverters that you can charge off like a car charger or the mains or solar. And I was saying we should just get those and take them into work and charge them up to get free electricity. Charge it up at work, take it home. Obviously, I would not do that because that is theft, but it's kind of an amusing idea. I know make sure you hit the follow button, Connor, as well. Get that bit. It's really important. Really, really important. Not really, but it'd be kind of cool if you did. Because you get to see a little tractor. Because I've been playing. My dad used to work at the local port, doing electrical engineering stuff. And one of the people that he used to work with, he used to fill his thermos flask up with boiled water from the kettle before he went home, so that he could get a free cup of coffee or tea when he got home without having to boil the kettle. I don't think it works if you charge stuff up at work, though, Farmer R, because you pay the electricity bill for your work. That seems flawed. That seems a little bit flawed to me. That's kind of doing an okay job of rolling that. Cool. I work at home most of the time. It's great. I don't think I've ever charged anything up on Tube. I have at, I think the only time I've done it a few times at airports. But a lot of airports now have plugs in the chairs for you to do that. One I particularly remember was traveling in Scotland for work, and I had a very long wait at Glasgow Airport, I think it was, and I found a quiet corner of the airport that had a main socket, and I just sat down and plugged my laptop in for several hours. No one said anything, and plenty of staff walked past me. I think it was my work laptop anyway, but I wasn't flying. I think it was it might have been Edinburgh Airport. I wasn't flying EasyJet. Pretty sure it was Glasgow. I was flying one of the other budget airlines because work are cheap. But yeah, I haven't been on a train in years. I used to, when I was at uni, because my dad worked at a port, but it was a port that used to be owned by British Rail. I'll give you an idea of how long ago it was. We used to get an amount of free train travel. And because I went to uni the other side of the country to where my parents lived, I used to use the train to get home to see them occasionally. I have been on the train since then. I used to use the train to get into London for work, and that was awful. I hated it. I haven't had to do that since that global thingy happened that stopped people going places. I used to hate it so much because we used to be going in early in the morning, so not quite rush hour, but close to rush hour, which meant it was very peoply, which clearly is not my favourite thing. And so I would get the train into London far enough that I could then walk the rest of the way. And I would, rather than spending 10 minutes or so on the tube, I'd walk for an hour. It was quite a nice walk, actually. Part of it was along Thames. But I preferred to do that than sit on the train or stand on the train or be squashed in on the train. Coming out was usually a lot better because we would usually finish early enough that I would avoid rush hour, but going in was always horrible. So yeah, I haven't been on a train since probably a few months before that big global thing that I'm not going to mention just in case Twitch are as sensitive as YouTube about you saying that word. The C word is bad. Not the one that involves Tuesday. Well, that's probably bad as well. I have no idea how Twitch views swearing. I mean, I don't swear that much unless people annoy me, like by stealing my mods. But other than that, I don't swear that much in videos. Did you all see the rather cool, well, I thought they were rather cool. In fact, I think they were freaking amazing pictures that I borrowed off of Paul and the Maze Plus Discord and his Facebook page. Once he posted them on his Facebook page, I figure they're fair game to actually share, of the Terra Life branded clothes for Farm Sim. Because that's really cool. I think we're going to be using them as part of the Terra Life Alpha streaming. I am stupidly excited about the idea of customizable farm sim clothes. We missed you. We did. We really missed you all. It was obvious. It was noticeable that you weren't here. Yeah, I'm. When one of the very, very clever scripters posted those that he'd done that in, I was that. In fact, I think all of us that saw the development of that were very, very excited because yeah, people have wanted customizable clothes in Farm Sim for a very long time instead of these fingers work. Yeah, that. Bed of, where are they? I can't see them now. I might not have them installed on this one. The kind of crappy outfits that Giants include with stuff, you know, like, was it Audi or something stupid? Yeah. Oh, I said, don't you pay for it anyway? Because it's your business. So you're not saving money if you're taking electricity from a bill that you pay yourself. That was what I said. I hope Kartek appreciates the fact that I'm using predominantly Fent, well, all Fent today, apart from the implements, obviously. I did consider getting the Fent 2 track on here as well, because I was looking at getting one of the really big seeders again, like I used to have one here, because seeding one of these big field, one of this field or the one next door. Okay, that sort of makes sense. I guess you're on a business tariff. If I want to seed this field or the field next door with a seeder, I don't want to do it with an 8 meter one because it took bloody ages before. It took quite a long time. So going from did have so I was using this one, which was really annoying because it crept about all over the place. But it was 23 meters. Going from 23 to 8 was too big a step, I think. So if I end up needing to seed one of these big fields, I will probably lease something much bigger. I did install a bunch of options actually. So I installed these case ones. I used these on the Western Miles in FS19. They're quite nice. And I installed the Hatzenbilscher Terminator because that's a smaller, kind of more sane size of one of those seeders. But we'll see. We'll see how many more episodes we do on here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do my own Paralife Alpha streams. I think those are only going to be when I'm doing stuff with on the farming agency server. So, but I might, if I end up sticking with streaming, I might start streaming something that's more like I normally play. Apart from the fact that this is quite nice because I don't really have to concentrate too much, so I can watch chat as well as play Farm Sim. Bill, I don't think I've used the Terminator in FS22 at all. I think I only used it in FS19 on contracts, I think. I just get it right around. Is it Oakfield that was Oxy's one? I think I used it for some contracts on there, but I don't remember using it in anything else. So what you're saying, Farmer R, is we should all just bring our electrical stuff to you to charge where you work. I will load the car up with lithium-ion batteries and a power inverter. I do kind of wish now. So I think it was years ago. They were offering the government grants for solar panels, and at the time it seemed like a con and a really dumb idea. Probably really nice to have solar panels about now, particularly as we have a south-facing roof they could go on. Um, and our electricity bill is not awful, um, considering that Mrs. D is at home all day. I'm at home working a lot of the week. Um, with I don't think they do the grants anymore, Cartech. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, like when I'm working at home, I have my work laptop on, I have my own laptop on, and I usually have my desktop on. Um, so yeah, and like in the winter, because there's always someone in the house, we have the heating on throughout the day. It's not on constantly, but and it at the moment that adds up, but it's not awful. So, but yeah, I kind of wish we'd got solar panels way back then. Um, so how are the solar panels doing for you, Monarchs? Are they any good? Guess your weather's pretty similar to ours, so and although they're really pushing heat pumps, I've not heard good things about how well they work. So um, I have no personal experience. It's just from reading comments on stuff on social media, but which is never really a good way to judge the effectiveness of any technology. Oh, cool! That fields are nearly done rolling. I did look at. Can't remember what inspired me, but I did have a look at a few solar panel websites in the UK, and the price wasn't horrendous for a half decent setup. It seemed tolerable, but whilst we are a single income family, not something I really want to throw a bunch of money at. Yeah. Geez, slow down, you lot. You might have lost game sound for a second. I'm having to scroll chat. That's pretty good that two of you like paid for the solar panels in a few years. Um, I'm trying to think with how much electricity we use. I don't know if we'd we'd pay for it that quickly. I don't know. I think for us it would work quite well because I have started watching Tom Pemberton again. A bit like them, and a lot of their power usages during the day. We have quite a steady power use through the day. I think so. Um, I know a lot of home solar setups now come with like a power bank as well, so you can store the energy from the solar system during the day when you're at work, and then use it in the evening and stuff. But um, our I think our usage is pretty even throughout the day, so it might kind of work out. But and yeah, I think it was about 5 grand when I looked for something for us. So it's just not money I want to spend, can spend at the moment. Um, Maybe when I'm YouTube famous. And well, I'm in sunny Essex. It's like we've got palm trees and stuff here. It's it's like the tropics some days. So yeah, it's one that I've been curious about, and the bit, I guess the other bit, and this is one I picked up from my obsession with watching Linus Tech Tips. He's got an electric car and solar, and so you essentially get 3 miles. But I hate the idea of electric cars, just on principle. So that's not an option. If someone can knock me up an at home generator of free diesel, that would be awesome. You know, kind of cool. That would save me a lot of money. Although not as much these days, because I don't drive to work as much as I used to, which is cool. The back back before that sea thing again, when I was doing 3 trips a week to work, I was spending a heck of a lot on diesel. I was putting a lot of miles on my car, which was not fun. Which is where now I'm not doing that, which is kind of cool because it's extending the life of my car a bit. It would be nice to get a few more years out of my car, I think. So that would be nice. And a lot less hours in the car. A lot less hours in the car. Previously I would probably be spending or maybe 12 hours a week driving to work. Whereas now I do more like about 4, which is quite nice. I think Monarchs, I think that's about the same sort of size system as I was looking at. I can't remember. I say because we've got a south-facing roof, I think it would work quite well. Annoyingly, it's not our back garden that faces south, so we don't get nice sunshine in the garden, but we have a south-facing surface, so that's all of the planting done. So I think I might break the roller out. Well, the roller's already out. I might roll one of the fields. I'd better put some fuel in this tractor, because otherwise I'll get moaned at by the guy that owns it. You can blame Mark for this as well. One of the things that I'm going to implement with the multiplayer on Maypole is when you finish with a piece of kit, you repair it and refuel it. Actually, I don't know if that video's out yet. It's in. Yeah, I think it was in the Maypole video that came out the other day, where I'd been watching Farmer Cop's video about repair costs. Dropped the front weight for some reason. Oh, we are refilling. Cool. And with repair costs being much cheaper if you repair earlier in terms of per percentage point of repair rather than just cost total. So, yep, repairing and refueling, which I'm really bad at, but I'm going to try and get better at. So. That's a lot of eagles, but I guess that's a lot of kilowatts as well. That is a lot. Oh, do those new buildings come with stuff like solar, or would that be something you'd have to pay to put on? Which seems a bit weird, given that you're probably leasing the building. It's not as bad as repair costs as I thought. I'm not repairing the weight. That's a no. Yeah, Mark recommended that video to me from Farmer Cop on the repair costs, and it was very interesting. He also has a very good one on harvesters. The harvester one is interesting. It means I'm going to start repairing my combine more often as well. Although generally I lease them so they don't get that damaged. But yeah, he does very good tutorials. As I said in the video, I was aware of who Farmer Cop was, but I had not really watched any of his stuff, and his tutorials are really good. So yes, it is to do with yield loss, and quite big yield loss once it gets over about 50%. I think at 30% it was very minimal in terms of loss. But once it got to 50%, it went up a fair bit. So, yeah, that was interesting. I'm curious if it's the same with a forage harvester, and whether that takes the hit as well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and watch some more of his videos, I think, because they definitely seem pretty cool. They seem like videos that I would have made. So they're videos that I would like watching, because as I always say, I try and make videos that I would want to watch. Right, too bad. They're not too bad repair costs, and I'm not even running any sort of cheaty mod to make the repairs cheaper. I should probably have washed this. Let's ignore that. I think it adds character when they're a little bit dirty. You guys will have seen from the state of a lot of my equipment on various Let's Plays, I generally haven't worried about damage on my kit. As long as it's functional, I've ignored it. Whereas now I feel like I can't do that. So yeah. Right. Can I roll a field in 17 minutes? I guess we're going to find out. Start this end. Then as we're here. I might as well roll it because I'm... no, Cartech, we're not going to cheat. I don't even know if I do not even have that installed, because I would not ever have such a cheaty mod installed. It's bad. I still felt, apart from the fact that I crushed you on competitive multiplayer, I still feel slightly aggrieved that you started cheating and using unlimited speed. But, you know, I guess in the end, justice prevailed. And the honest player won. And one day I'll let you forget. One day, maybe. But that was yeah. I really enjoyed that series. It was a lot of fun. And it was back when we weren't quite so busy and could actually do multiplayer consistently. Well, you see, Kartek, what it is between us, life has got really busy, and it usually means that when it comes around to a Friday and we think about recording, one of us has got something else that gets in the way. I thought you'd have known this by now. Did you really expect me not to be that annoying? It is kind of frustrating that we don't actually get to do that often. But, you know, it is what it is. Things will change, and we'll do it more often at some point. Multiplayer, that is not, you know, not that other do it thing. It's really nice weather today. Some of us were silly enough to get married twice. I don't really mean that. Thankfully not. Thankfully not. I'm pleased she's doing well, mate. It's scary stuff. Scary stuff. I remember it being bad enough when Mrs. D was having much less significant surgery, and yeah, good that she's doing well. Oh, I missed a follow. That's because it's silent. Welcome, MPI1. I did think about putting a tag in for silent notifications, but yeah, hopefully she will make as full a recovery as is possible. I know between the two of you, you are determined enough to push through it. So I know it would scare the crap out of me being either side of that process. Hey, to be honest, I was scared enough when I just had to go and have the brain scan done. And I was lucky. There was nothing scary in there. What are you resisting saying, Kartek, about me and my brain? They did find a brain, if that's what you're implying. There was definitely a brain in there. Annoyingly, I didn't get to see the pictures. I did get to see the pictures. My dad had to have a brain scan done. I don't know if you guys remember when he had his neck surgery done. Big enough. My brain was big enough. When my dad had his neck surgery done, he had to have a brain scan before the surgery. And he got the DVD of the pictures. Oh, the human head is weird when you slice it into little tiny pieces. And that sounds really wrong, probably. Like looking through the slices of I can't remember what type of scan it was. like going from the top of the head down in little slices, was so weird. So weird, but kind of cool. It was trying to decide if it was grimmer than the DVD we got of one of Mrs. D's operations. And that was quite grim. That was quite grim. It was done through keyhole surgery. Yeah. Yeah, her operation was done through keyhole surgery, and we got the DVD of it, and it was weird. Eyes on brain scans look hideous. That was the bit that was sticking in my brain about it being really weird seeing a brain scan, or it was a whole head scan in my dad's case, because it went down into his spine as well. And yeah, the slices through the eyes is freaky. And yeah, it was the operation that we got the DVD of was an operation that was done privately, and the DVD was part of the package. So, I only ever watched it once. I don't know if Mrs. D watched it more than once. I could only stand to watch it once. But it was intriguing enough that I wanted to watch it, but grim enough that I wouldn't ever watch it a second time. No, you don't get a keyring and a fridge magnet or fluffy dice. That looks about right. It must be a really good way of freaking people out to show them a picture of your brain. Yeah, so I didn't get, because I didn't ever see the ones from my brain scan. But because I didn't ever have a follow-up with it, it was just kind of, I had it done, it was checked by a consultant, and it was fine. So which meant I never got to see any of the pictures. But I don't know if they go on your NHS records, whether you can access them through that or not. We're not going to mention eye anymore. Yeah, and that bit, and the tumour bit. But yeah, eyes freak me out, so we can stop mentioning scans of eyes. That would be nice. And yeah, having your fingers crushed is probably bad too. I assume you've had them fixed. Eagles. Didn't quite get that right. I can still taste those manky sausages. I suspect I'm going to be enjoying those for the rest of the night. It'd be intriguing, I'm going to make me sound strange again, to have seen pictures of my dad's motorcycle accident, but back then they didn't have things like camera phones, and I don't think he has any pictures of it because he was kind of, you know, in hospital, hooked up to all sorts of meds, and they were trying to save his leg. But yeah, that'd have been quite grim as well, probably, having your knee basically ripped open by a car. That'd have been quite grim. The scar he had before he had his knee replaced, just the scar from the bike accident, was pretty impressive. I don't remember if, actually I'm not going to lift that up. I don't remember if I told the story. Probably have mentioned at some point my dad's bike accident. But he was quite a feisty gentleman when he was younger, let's say. And whilst the passers-by were trying to encourage him to lay down because his knee had been ripped apart, he was trying to get up to have a go at the guy who was driving the car, who drove into his leg while he was on a motorbike. I don't think he'd realised just how bad the injury was, because I think he then spent like a month in hospital while they tried to save his leg and rebuild bits of it. Yeah, all before I existed, but you know, obviously been told the stories of it. And yeah, he tried to get up to go and have a go at the guy who'd hit him with a car. Yeah, that side of my family were tough people. My nan was, she was 101 when she died. There were some pretty gnarly stories of her past of being that old. Obviously, she went through the war. She worked in a munitions factory during the war, which I thought was really cool. When we were going through some of her stuff after she died, I found the like engineering maths handbook thing that they'd all been given, which was awesome. But she went through a couple of cancers, all sorts of stuff, and she had some sort of throat cancer, which I think was removed whilst she was conscious without anaesthetic. She was a badass. She was a very, very cool lady. Yeah, the handbook bit was cool. The other bit is still cool. She was a tough old lady. She was very cool. She was very funny as well until she got Alzheimer's, and then you probably know how that goes. So, but yeah, she was. No, you should like kids. You probably shouldn't have favorite grandparents, but she was my most fun grandparent. Not the one that I spent the most time with, but she was the most fun grandparent. Must be a biker thing about trying to ignore being injured. I was lucky. I never had an accident. I only rode a bike for a few years, and then I saw someone killed on the M3 and stopped riding my bike. Um, and I never had an accident and never got injured riding it. So, but yeah, seeing a what turned out to be a dead body laying in the middle lane of the M3 put me off ever riding it again. Another fun story for you all. I think Mrs. D was pleased when I stopped riding the bike. My parents were definitely pleased, obviously, with my dad having had a life-changing accident. Because that's the reason my dad's whole body is screwed up now. From the artificial knee through the artificial knee, artificial hip, fused spine, other knee that needs replacing, other hip that needs replacing. yeah, they were quite pleased when I stopped. That's kind of cool. That you, well, both in fact, that one granddad was a boat builder and the other survived being torpedoed. My dad used to build boats as a hobby, which I'm pretty sure I've waffled on about at some point because when I was a kid it was awesome. My dad used to have half-built boats in the back garden, and then fully built boats, and then zero built boats, and then yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I said or not. We found one of the boats that my dad built um, up for sale last year. Um, yeah, that was kind of cool. It kind of made me kind of emotional because I spent the latter part of my teens helping him build that, and yeah, if I was a more wealthy man, I would probably have bought it. I think. It's been up for sale twice since my dad sold it, and both times it's been like, I wish I had money, because they don't sell for cheap. They don't sell for cheap. I'm going to finish this field before I stop now. I did say I was going to stream until 8, but I'm still awake, so the dogs are still quiet, which I'm amazed by. I did leave the radio on for them. They like listening to Smooth FM. So they've got Smooth playing downstairs. So they're fine. I don't think the coffee has had that much effect. The can of Monster that I drank driving home might have had an effect. I've had a lot of caffeine today. Days in the office involve a lot of caffeine. I did not get the Monster on credit. No, I paid for it in one go. Although I can't afford to buy a boat, I am a man of some level of means. You know, I can afford to not buy Monster on credit. That amazed me. Amazed me. Then again, £4 for a can of Monster amazed me. So I guess you're paying a lot for it to be imported from the US. I was intrigued by all of the different flavors they had on the website that I took that from. Was an importer from the US and Japan and stuff, and God, they have a lot of flavors. My kid is still awake, but then again, she's not a kid anymore. She's 18, so she's an adult. She doesn't act like an adult very often, if I'm honest, but you know, it varies actually. That's probably not fair. Some stuff she's very adult behaved with. Some stuff she's not. It's quite scary to think that she will be going off to university hopefully in a few months. Not going through the pond, Kartek. I'll go over the grassy bit, but not through the pond. Like I don't drive through every single hedge. At least not when people are watching. I did ponder, partly because I can be an annoying at times, going into Maypole and editing it so that the hedges had collisions, so that you guys couldn't just go ploughing through hedges when I wasn't watching. Yes, I know I missed a bit. I don't care. I'm not Kartek. Missed bits of fun. They add character to them. Now, look at all these missed bits. Loads of them. And bits that need ploughing and bits that aren't fertilised. I definitely need to add collisions to the hedges to stop you guys doing, you know, just like ploughing through them. Well, I'm literally ploughing through them, hopefully, but oh, I'm definitely judging. I'm definitely judging. I've already highlighted that someone who is watching has been using GPS. Because as soon as I hooked one of the tractors up to an implement, GPS popped up. But, you know, as I said on Discord, I'm not going to hold you lot strictly to the rules that I'm playing by. So, because I don't think that's necessary, really. I do appreciate your help. It's just there are rules. Rules help control the fun. Yeah, so we'll find out. It's going to be in. See you, Connor. Thanks for stopping by. The GPS rule is GPS for steering on tractors. Didn't exist in the period we are playing in. GPS did exist in farming, I believe, but more to do with monitoring yield of on combines and stuff. Auto steer, I think, was early 2000s. So, but yeah, I'm. It is a good job you don't know how to use VCA. I'm not at all suspicious of you. Maybe we'll just remove VCA when it's on the multiplayer server. Because you don't really need it, so let's take VCA off and you'd have to wait until GPS is enabled. I'll ask the audience in the next Maypole video. See how much people like you. Realistically, as long as you mostly play within the spirit of how that Let's Play is structured, I don't care. You know, you're forced to manually load bales. Watching Mark and Eagles do the forestry and stuff was really cool. So, yeah. Speaking of using ridge markers, I remember when I started playing FS19, when I didn't know GPS existed, using ridge markers. Before I learnt what GPS was, and I then had to Google to find out if there was such a thing. And on my Sandy Bay Let's Play, when I couldn't afford GPS, I have yet to watch Kartek manually stack bales. I have seen Eagles stack bales very well, and pretty quickly. I have yet to see Kartek do it, so I don't know. The trailer of bales that he stacked looked like he pretty much must have done it manually, so. But I think I am going to call it a night at this point. Because I want to go and relax for a bit. And actually probably go and play Farm Sim, because I need to record another video. So it's been a lot of fun. Thank you all for stopping by. It's been good. I'm kind of amazed that there are 9 people watching. That's I will no doubt chat to most of you in Discord in a bit, and this will be up on YouTube in a day or two, probably. And I will be on stream tomorrow with Paul. I won't actually be streaming. I will just be chatting while we show stuff off. Most of which I've not seen yet. So hopefully I will see most of you tomorrow so we can learn more about Terra Life.